Good evening, everyone. I want to personally welcome you to the Unmuted Conversations podcast with yours truly, Latasha Renee. I am so glad to be with you on another Thursday. We are in season one, episode number 4. And tonight, our episode is called Embracing Child Autism Together. I am so excited about this topic. Most of you know that this month is World Autism Month, so I'm excited to be talking about this subject. I come in tonight as a student. As many of you know, I don't have children. I don't have much experience in the autism world, but that makes it me even more excited to be interviewing our guest on tonight. I am interviewing Tiffany Siler on tonight. If you know her, then you love her or you hate her, but I love her. She is an activist, an advocate, and a mom for autism. I'm going to let her share her story on tonight. Many of you already know who we are here, but we, like I said, are the Unmuted Conversation podcast, where we help women unmute their message and share their story with the world. So tonight, Tiffany is going to be unmuting her message tonight, and for the first time, publicly, she's going to be sharing her story with everyone. She's going to tell you about her journey as being a mom to an amazing little boy who has been diagnosed with autism. She's going to share her story. She will allow you to ask any questions that you may have. But I'm so excited to have her tonight. I'm going to bring her on the stage. I'm going to let her introduce herself to you and she's going to tell you guys a little bit about herself. Oh, there she is. Hi, Tiffany.
I am Tiffany Siler. I am Major's mom. I'm also mom to 2 other boys. Major is 5, but I've been a mom for a long time. My oldest is almost 20. And that's a little bit about me. I work in healthcare, behind the scenes in IT, and just on this journey with this amazing little boy.
Well, we are glad that you took time out of your very busy schedule, honey, because we know how it is, honey. When you have, multiple kids, multiple ages apart, we know you might be stretched a little thin. So I'm so glad that you took some time to join us on tonight. So tonight, like I said, we're going to be talking about embracing child autism. And so what I want to start with, I just want to give you some space to kind of share your journey, what it's looked like. I know that for a lot of people, the diagnosis kind of catches moms and dads off guard. So if you can just kind of share what that moment felt like when you first received the diagnosis and, what that felt like and all.
Absolutely. I knew he was different since birth. He was hard to soothe. I was an older mom and it had been a while, but it was something as a mom, Major was officially diagnosed at 3.5, November of 2022. But I had started getting my ducks in a row, researching and trying to get him diagnosed the previous year, November of 2021. Children of color are diagnosed much later than other kids. So you run through a lot of hoops, just trying to get them support, diagnosed. You kind of get different looks like, how in the world did you find out, or what do you know?
Mm-hmm.
And as a parent, I had to forgive myself because I did answer all the questions right at Well Child visits. I did voice my concerns to my pediatrician, friends and family. Everybody said, it's just been a long time. Just wait. So when I found out, I felt vindicated. I also had to give myself some grace because it wasn't a reflection of me and my parenting, but to hear that word, even though I knew, and to see it in black and white on a piece of paper was a lot, but we needed that to give him the support he needs. So I'm thankful that he got diagnosed when he did.
Mm-hmm.
Later.
Oh, good. Okay. Okay. I'm so glad that you touched on the point of, how you felt as a mom, because I know a lot of times, we have like, moms out there who may feel guilty or may feel like they did something wrong, or, maybe the ones who maybe didn't notice the signs like you did very early on. And maybe their child is, 6, 7, 8, and, they're just got the diagnosis and they feel like, well, dang, how did I miss it? So I'm glad that you touched on that as well, because I'm sure that can be a challenging space for parents. So I'm glad you brought that up too. Did you have any? You said you knew, and I guess we always talk about your motherly instincts and stuff like that. But did you anything like? Did you already know what to expect when it comes to autism, or did it kind of catch you off guard, or what was that like?
Oh no, I had never been around. I had heard the word and heard
Hmm.
people say it, but I never personally had any experience. I just knew once I started looking up the signs, like the milestones were late. He walked late. He wasn't talking. He didn't really respond to his name. And I'm constantly learning, even now, like with autism. Just I read every day. I look up different parent groups. I'm in support groups. I'm on councils. I'm just always trying to understand it more because each case is different. The levels can change from 1 to 3. Your child can go from verbal to nonverbal, nonverbal to verbal, which is make case. So I'm always a student, like you said. I'm just trying to help my baby and anybody else that has questions.
Is so major is verbal?
He is very much so. He was not. He At 2, he only had 10 functional words. And I would say about 3.5, maybe about 30 or 40. But
Oh,
now 5 is fully conversational. Hmm.
okay. Did you have to put him in do some type of intervention or speech therapy, or how did he get to where he is now?
Yes. So we did do outside speech therapy and occupational therapy. We tried autism behavioral therapy, but Major is he wasn't a good it wasn't a good fit for him.
Can you
He
tell us a little bit about what that is for the
so
people who may not know?
therapy is something that's used to teach them different skills. It's usually used in more severe cases, which in the beginning, most people thought Major would benefit from it
Okay.
with the level 2 diagnosis. But now, Major would really be considered level 1, which is minimal support. So he's able to function. That's for kids that aren't able to coexist in a classroom with a teacher and classmates, typical classmates
Okay.
or one-on-one support.
Okay.
Um, so we did that for a little bit, but Major wasn't a good fit because he has been in pre-K. He's pre-K 3.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. And do you ever find that? How do you navigate the challenges when it comes to, or does he's acclimated well to, like, even in school when he was in pre-K, or is there any challenges you face even when it comes to teachers, how they treat your child, how other kids treat your child, or have you had any challenges with that?
I think so. People expect autism to have a look. Major's this
Mm,
fun, cuddly kid that will talk to you. Especially he loves other children. So I often hear he can't be autistic. I do advocate for him in spaces because he is verbal, yes, and you're going to see him well dressed. He's able to function. The school system loves to use the word functional. So they remove a lot of services or don't suggest them when kids are like Major. There's a big misconception that autistic people are not affectionate, they don't smile, they don't have feelings. Uh, but if you ever meet Major, he lives up to his name. He has a huge personality. He can tell you how he feels. He'll smile. He'll hug you. The main thing is I have to advocate that it's a spectrum. All autistic people are not the same, and your uncle's cousin's neighbor
mhm.
probably has a different level or could have other issues. So I do find that, but teachers, his pre-K teachers have been wonderful. They are special education teachers. Major is moving into the regular world of elementary for kindergarten and up. That is the plan. He has done well in the class that he's in. But yeah, we wear our shirt, our colors proudly over here. We are not a family that hides, and I'm gonna let you know because if you
Mhm.
ever see me react, he's doing something unsafe, I have to teach in the moment.
Okay.
With him, he has to learn right then. So I have to act swiftly. And some people say you shouldn't tell people because you can't tell. But I'm not ashamed, and I hope he's always an example. We strive to be that.
Yeah.
I have autism, but autism don't have us.
Say that. I love that. Yes, yes. I think that's so important too, because like you said, autism doesn't have a look. And I
Mhm.
think a lot of times when you hear of someone having, especially people that are uneducated or just ignorant, like you just don't know, and you look at someone like your son, and it's like, oh, like you said, he doesn't look autistic. He looks, like you said, he's well dressed and well mannered, and so people may not, like you said, start removing services that he may need, or you could be in public somewhere and they're like, oh, he's not autistic enough to need help. You know
Yep.
what I mean? And so, have you ever experienced anything like that where it's like, no, we do need the help, but don't disqualify my child because he's doing well. He still does have a disability.
Every day. We just went on vacation. We had a horrible experience somewhere. We were in a
Gosh.
place. But it happens. Cognitive disabilities, people are uneducated. They're invisible disabilities. And what I said at that place was you need to educate yourself, because comments like, I don't see an oxygen tank, or he can walk, he can talk, those things are that's where these misconceptions and things like that happen. So, and services can be removed, and discrimination happens to people. And it is defeating, but know that in autism, support levels change, things change. So just because today he presents very well, tomorrow
Hmm.
he could not get out the bed or say, Mommy, I'm having a bad day, and not
Yeah.
be able to go to school just because he can't physically, it gets to the point where he's so overwhelmed and overloaded that he can't. Um, so I think it's important, that people understand that it doesn't have a look. Um, and when you're advocating for your child, that maybe what's considered, they don't use those terms anymore, about high functioning. Um, I have to always remind people that I'm here to make sure he gets the support that he needs. Um,
Yeah.
I know you may teach in a group setting or small group setting, or you may experience other children, but my baby's 101. And if you meet him, you're going to know he's worked really, really hard. With my push, I will say he's done the hard work.
Hmm.
Therapist and a great care team now. Um, but yeah, I'm really really because the look thing, that seems to be, autism is an unspoken thing. I think it's just up there with mental health. Being neurodivergent is not um, looked upon well, especially in our community. So
Hmm.
that's what I want people to understand, is that it's a real thing. Kids aren't just spoiled or bad, and they do need our support early in life, early. Uh,
Yeah.
so before we have some of the incidences that we've seen happen when they're older. So it's important for us, for me, people like me, to unmute, like you said, and tell the story so that
Yeah.
others um, can go forward.
Exactly. Exactly. I think that is definitely so important, because a lot of times, as parents or as people, we could, like, shoot, like, we probably have people in our family who haven't been diagnosed, and it could be because of your parent just didn't take you to the doctor. It could just be shame or embarrassment. You don't want. I think years ago, I don't know if it's still the same, but I know years ago it was always like, I don't want my child to be labeled. So like a lot of times we didn't treat ADHD. I don't want my kid on Ritalin, or all of the things, and your child suffers in school and stuff like that because you don't want your child to be labeled, and your child doesn't get the help, doesn't get the support or IEP or whatever that your child could benefit from. So I'm just glad to see, I always see you advocating. You like an activist, you like a super mom. Like, major is major to you, like, for real. And one thing I can respect is when, if I see you, I see major. Like, and like, you're not ashamed. You're like, listen, this is my baby and I'm all he got. Like, like, I'm gonna do what I gotta do for him. And I do respect that, because like I said, there's this stigma, especially in the Black community, where we don't want our kids labeled. So I'm glad that you have kind of, you're paving the way for a lot of people who may experience this in the future, and they can listen to this podcast and say, hey, you know what, I need to, double check, if even if I answer all the questions right and my doctor says, no, let me go a step further, because there may be something, because mamas know.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I heard. Cause I don't know, but mamas know when something's up. Like you said, even when he was a baby, it was hard to soothe him. He was your third kid, so
Yep.
you knew that something was a little off. So I'm glad that you fought for Major and you advocated for him. So I guess what I would ask next is like, what would you say to like a mom who's just, what kind of advice would you give to a parent? What, not even just a mom, dads too, who are just starting this journey with their child. If they're starting to notice things, or where do they begin?
Get those babies evaluated. If start with your pediatrician. If they are not responsive, as a parent, look up the word developmental pediatrician. That's who can diagnose your child with
Okay.
any type of neurodivergent condition, not just autism, ADHD as well. We got officially diagnosed at Amos Cottage here in Winston. It sits right next to Forsyth Medical Center. It is a part of Atrium Health, but it does sit next to Forsyth Medical Center. Um, but like I said, advocate for those babies because early intervention is key. Please do not, and I feel like children of color are diagnosed much later for that reason. Listen to others that say wait. If you look at those milestones as a parent, we all have a phone in our hand, and you say, hey, they're not meeting them, speak up at the 12-month appointment. Don't wait to the 4-year checkup. When
Yeah.
somebody, hey, what are they doing at pre-K, or are they able to function? Because it seems like that's when doctors get a little keyed in when it's about to be time to go to school. But by that time, we've had a whole 5-year window.
Yeah. Yeah.
um I would say speak up for them. As far as this is the most hardest, most rewarding thing I've ever done. Like my child just started sleeping through the night. It took medication. um I'm tired a lot. I spend a lot of time at therapy. He has grown so much, he doesn't need as much support now. It was a lot tougher at first, but it's a full-time job. So give yourself some grace, but I think it's important to breathe when you first get that diagnosis, because you got to take care of yourself. This is a journey for the long haul. You need
Oh,
every ounce of strength, stamina, peace, hope. You're gonna continuously have to fight and advocate for your baby. Um, so I think it's very important to take care of yourself. They're gonna meet the milestones because you're gonna do the work. You can only push and advocate, fight so much from an empty.
yeah. Yeah.
And then lastly, I just think I know we want the best for our kids. When we get something like first you're devastated and next you go into action mode. I
Hmm.
mean, you hit the ground, like I said. But stay in a moment with your kids. Enjoy your kids for the age they are. This is, like I said, a long fight. Nothing happens overnight, but it's just very important to me for people to make their kids because they're still our.
Right. Right. One thing I want, and this is just for my own personal knowledge, just because I don't know. So once a child is diagnosed with autism, do they always have autism, or do they grow out of it, or how does that work? Do you know?
So it can be level 3 is most severe, nonverbal usually goes in that category. Level 2 is moderate support, and level 1 is minimal support, but they'll always have autism. Uh,
Okay.
and there are days that they're level 3 and days that they're level 1. Like they go
Okay.
up.
Oh, okay. So from day to day, you kind of don't know what that day is going to look like in the life of Tiffany and Major.
Like
Wow.
today, him to count to 15, and he do it tomorrow. He might count to 2.
Okay.
So there's a lot of retraining. You see regression. Then, but you can ask him about a dinosaur, and he'll start telling you about Tyrannosaurus Rex. So they go up and down on that spectrum. It is a spectrum.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I got you. So does your child have a lot of support when it comes to, because you did mention you have older children too. So, do they are they supportive? Are they helpful with major, or was there like any type of um conflict or anything like that, or did they just kind of jump in to help mama out?
My kids are great. They jump in and help mama out. My oldest is, like I said, in college, so he's almost 20. So he's not really here, but the superstar in my life, my mom is a great help. She is really the only person Major stays with outside of the house. But the rock star here is my middle son. He's in ninth grade. That is Major's BFF. He is 15, so Major thinks he's 15. um, I do have a bonus child that's 17, so she comes over a lot. Major loves his sister. He's
Mhm.
actually the older two boys' sister, but you wouldn't know. Um, so they adjust, they make room for it. Our plans may change. We might skip somewhere invited to. He's the typical baby brother that annoys them, but they spend a lot of time, my son's girlfriend, my oldest son, when he's here. Um, you know, that's their kid brother. That middle one, you have to be careful. Like I said, if anybody do anything, I'll be worried because he is his protector.
He says you said your phone. I'm sorry, your phone was cutting out just a little bit.
He is his protector. The
Oh
middle one, yes. The 15-year-old, they are BFFs.
Lord, I see that often too. Like I was like, okay, but I think Major run the show with them too, though. I think Major is probably the leader of the pack with
He,
him and his brother. Yeah. Um. So what do you feel like the future looks like for Major? Like as far as what is your hopes as far as his future? Does it look any different than what you? Oh, one moment. She's having to step away from the screen. In the meantime, everyone who is watching, please continue to like, comment, and share in the comments. If you have any questions tonight for Tiffany or any comments, anything you want to add that she mentioned on tonight, please drop them in the comments. We will definitely respond. Any questions that you have, Tiffany is the subject matter expert on tonight. So she's going to be available to answer any questions that you may have about autism, any tips, tools, strategies that you may have that can be that she didn't mention on tonight. Please drop that in the comment section. We would love to provide as many resources and tools that we possibly can. She mentioned how she was able to notice some signs. If you are a mom of an autistic child, please feel free to list some of the signs that you notice as well, because we have parents, like I said, who may not know what to look for because they've never experienced it before. They may notice some things but aren't sure. So please feel free to drop the additional information in the comment section. We will greatly appreciate it. We'll come back on it. And also, I just also want to just thank you guys for tuning in on tonight. I want you guys to also, while we have this time, feel free to follow, like, and subscribe on my other pages. I am on Spotify now. I always get excited when I say that, but I am on Spotify now. I am on YouTube at Unmuted Conversation. So all you have to do is type that in. I will pop right up on the screen. You will see my beautiful face in the place. I also have an Instagram page for Unmuted Conversations. My Instagram page is unmuted underscore conversations. So all you have to do is go on Instagram. I don't stream on that page, but I do drop amazing content there. So again, that's YouTube and Spotify at Unmuted Conversations. Please feel free to like, comment, subscribe over there. I tend to, soon as you see things here on Facebook, it's also dropped on Spotify and YouTube as well. Tiffany is back with us, so thank you so much for joining us back. I think we left off where we were talking about Major's amazing dope future. What do you think that's going to look like?
I always say he's gonna be the next Elon Musk. He, if you ask him, changes occupation every week. What he wants. But I always speak that, he will graduate high school, college, and be great, and I will be there all the way. So I do push his brothers. His brothers work really hard to be a good example, and his sister. So he, I always say he has extra needs, but I do not treat him special. My middle son was faced with child epilepsy, so he had seizures for about 4 years when he was little, and
Yeah.
he's gone on to play high school football, be an honor roll kid. And I remember them telling me like, you should just put him in a special needs classroom and leave him. You know, he won't
Wow.
read, math. But amazing kid.
Yeah.
Um, so there are no limits. I always say God gave me this tough battle, but I think he knew that I could fight it. So Major is no different. Like, you know, we do homework, we have an iPad, we only in pre-K, but we are doing to be done.
Mhm.
Mama's curriculum. You know, I'm advocating for this is what he needs, where this is where I see holes. People at the school are like, thank you for working with him. I'm like, you don't have to thank me. I'm his mama. But yeah, I've already started following like older people, older autistic people and older parents that have older kids just to see like what the next steps are. I've researched college programs. He just going to kindergarten, but I need to know where we going next.
Exactly, exactly. I think, and it's so good that you are looking that far ahead. It lets you know, and it's a reminder to all the other parents out there that you have to have hope. It's not a hopeless case. Just because you have autism, it doesn't mean your kid can't go to college. It doesn't mean your kid will, can't make straight A's. You know what I mean? So I think it's so good and it's encouraging to other parents to hear you say this. Listen, my baby ain't going to kindergarten, but I'm looking up colleges.
Mhm.
Like, you know what I mean? It's not like some end all be all, but we in this fight every single day, but we moving forward. Like you said, God gave you this. He knew that you could handle it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And you might not always feel like it. You might get tired, and I think you mentioned about self care. I think that's so important. And I will let you pause and kind of encourage some of the mamas out there, because I think a lot of the brunt probably falls on the moms, but we do have active dads as well. But just encouraging them to take care of themselves too, because yeah, you have the ability to get through it, but some days are hard, some days are rough, and so maybe you can kind of offer some hope to the parents who are just tired. Like,
Oh, yes. I'm always tired, but I will say little things like I'm a boy mom, so I go and get a pedicure. I make sure I do that once a month. I get my hair done. It's really easy to get caught up in the go, 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 but we do need time to ourselves. My mom gets him speak up because I'm one that I don't like to ask for help, and I had to have a conversation with my mother. She is literally my only adult support. Um, but she gets him 1 to 2 weekends a month. I don't usually go anywhere. I have started trying to get out more. It has in 2024 a concert, go to the movies,
yeah,
out to eat with your cousins. Take a trip. Don't feel guilty. Because again, like I said earlier, you cannot do this from an empty cup. I've tried it. You will end up depressed. You will end up ran down. And your kids still.
yeah,
So to be able to be an autism parent, you can't do that from a low place. It's impossible. Like, because they have their days too. For as much as Major is bright, transitions are very hard, and that's true for most autistic kids. So I do things like talk to him ahead of time. I try to start days early. We take all of his stuff. Tablet, his Paw Patrol plushie,
yeah.
snack. I have to be prepared to make him comfortable because it helps me. We use a visual schedule. I
I'm
even
sorry, say that again. You use a what now?
a visual schedule. You can get them from. They look like a little mini bulletin board from Amazon, but they have pictures that say school, doctor, parks.
Oh, okay.
We have a big one in his room that has like the days of the week and stuff like that. That helps them. He does do the self affirmations, and that helps me too in the morning. Our favorite one, like our family mantra, is I can do hard things, I can learn new things, I can
Yeah,
go. We say that to help him. So that's why I said it's very important to take care of you because there's so much stuff that you have to carry and do to prepare them for the next step. Um, So you're kind of in training too.
Oh yeah, yeah. Wow, you have we have covered a lot on tonight. I'm so glad that you took the time out of your very busy schedule because even beyond a mom, you are doing dope things for yourself. We see that NBA behind your name, girl. We see it, girl.
I
So,
I am trying.
mhm.
I'm most proud of him though. Like I said, he's fully conversational. He's now potty trained. All this stuff they told
Awesome.
me that he wouldn't be able to do. He's headed to regular kindergarten. So he's done the hard work. I'm just the push. Um,
Yeah.
but I'm also trying to get my doctorate. I'm trying to start a nonprofit. I'm trying to be more available for our community and build our community. Like I said, it's a diagnosis. They hand you a paper, might give you a packet that from the American Academy of Pediatrics, but you're pretty much left on your own. So I do hope to write it all down one day. Everybody's like, you need to write, and
Mhm.
I have a lot of time, but I have so many ideas. But I feel like it's getting easier since he needs less support now. We kind of have, it's been 2 years now. I have more of a schedule down and we have our team together. But I'm trying to do more things.
Good. We see you working, honey. We see you working. So we are glad that you are being such an activist. You are being such a supporter. You are being such an advocate for not just major, but for all moms and all parents who have children with a diagnosis of autism. So we are so glad to hear about that. If anyone has any questions or need additional information, and maybe they're not comfortable writing it in the comment section, how can they reach out to you? Let the people know. So just in case they just was like, hey girl, I didn't want to say it, but how can they reach out to you, Tiffany?
Sure. I have an Instagram page that I have not been using, but I've always had it. It's called Black Autism Mama on Instagram. So feel free to follow it. Drop your questions, comments. I do log into it. It is on my phone. And I am going to get some content out there. Talk to me into an unknown zone, and I am unmuted. So I
Yeah.
am be working to get all those channels available, but reach out to me on there. I'll be happy to answer any questions. I'm also a part of a support group called Triad Black Autism Moms. It's a great place. I have a lot of good people, good moms in there for people of color or just anybody who is a mom looking. It's a small knit group, but it's a support group for us. And like I said, there's big things coming for me and Major. So I will make sure that I make those public as I do them.
Awesome. Well, guys, y'all heard it first here on tonight. She unmuted herself on tonight. She shared her story for the very first time with the world. So we are glad that she was able to join us on tonight and do that. Again, we will drop all of her information in the comment section. We'll put it in the description so that if you want to have access to the support group she mentioned or her page, you can do that. DM her over there. Now, don't be in her DMs with no foolery now because Tiffany don't play that. So don't be in her DMs with real questions. Don't be trying to listen, y'all. Tiffany don't play. You have been warned, okay? So she is unmuted. She has officially unmuted herself. She has shared her story with the world. We are glad that she did that tonight on the Unmuted Conversations podcast with yours truly, Latasha Renee. Like I said, if you have not done so already, please like, comment, share, go subscribe to my YouTube page, go follow me on Spotify, follow my Instagram page. Like I said, it is unmuted_conversations. I do drop content over there. I'm trying to get better with it. I'm trying to do it every day. But follow me over there. Eventually, we will start streaming and doing some live video over there as well. But you gotta be following me to see it. So please do so. In the meantime, if you want to be a guest on my show, please feel free to shoot me an email at unmutedconversations@gmail.com. Let's talk. Let's see if we're a good fit for each other. Let's see if we can partner together. Send me an email. You can also DM me. I told y'all last week I am always on social media. Y'all pray for me because I am always on social media. So you can also direct message me if you have the desire to be a guest on my show. Do not DM me with no foolishness because I don't play that either. So if you want to be a guest on my show, feel free to DM me, but I do prefer email so that I can respond to you in a timely manner. Again, thank you so much, Tiffany, for joining us on tonight. We have learned so much. Like I said when we first started, I came on tonight as a student because I knew very little about it, but I also knew that it was an important topic, not just because it's World Autism Month, but because it's an important topic throughout the year. Throughout, we need to know these things because what we don't want to do, we don't want our ignorance to offend you as a mom, to hurt your child, any child in any type of way. So I'm so glad that you came in and you enlightened us and you educated us on tonight on certain things because like you said there's levels to this. Some of us didn't know that, and autism does not have a look, so you can't assume anything about a child just because it doesn't look like what you think it looks. So thank you so much for doing that on tonight. And if you have any parting words, any additional that you want to say tonight, I want to leave space to do that before we um, end our show tonight. But I just wanted to see if you have anything you want to say because you are the expert tonight.
I will still give the limelight to my little superstar. He was born on April 2nd, which is World Autism Day. You did touch on that it is a month, but for many of us, this is an all year round thing. I just have a couple of things to say to the community. For families like myself, we love our family and friends. We love all the support, but this is a altering journey. So again, I think I said earlier, we might not make everything. We may not talk or visit often. It's not personal, but please reach out to your people. We do need time to ourselves. We can't always go, 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 but we're trying. Um, we don't want to be isolated. We don't always want to be, but this is not something that we choose. It changes day to day. So just love us in our space as we love you. And even if that's from afar, but that's my main push is that we get our kids evaluated. We do early intervention, and we give families like myself some grace because we're trying. We always want to be at the cookout with you as well. However, autism is a big thing. It may not be talked about, but it is. It can handicap some folks. So, again, I just ask that everybody in this month and all months, if you can be of service, do that. But no, this is a big, big thing, and if anybody needs me,
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Aunt Tiffany. I need y'all to pay attention to what she's saying. Check out, reach out to any mamas, any dads, anyone that you know that is experiencing this. They need some support sometimes too. Don't judge them if they don't show up to the family cookout because maybe they were having a bad day or maybe their child was too. So get, like she said, give some grace. Thank you so much again, Tiffany, for joining us on tonight. To all of my followers, subscribers, thank y'all for joining in once again on tonight. I appreciate y'all, and I cannot wait to see y'all on next Thursday. Have a great evening.